Welcome to Sarah's Prismatic Musings. This week we have a very special guest, my friend Stephany Poe. We met at DES back in Arizona a lifetime ago, and
Right.
she has been such a busy bee. She volunteers for a nonprofit called LIV You. You can find them on YouTube. They have videos up and it's a coaching. And then Stephany here has her own coaching business, Poe, that's POEE Coaching and Consulting LLC. So let's jump right in, Stephany. Tell us about your business, Poe Coaching and Consulting. What services do you offer?
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sarah, for that wonderful introduction. I appreciate it. And hello to everyone. I hope you guys are tuning in wherever you're tuning in from. Welcome. It's going to be a great conversation, Sarah. It's so great to see you and be in your space again. So, what do I do? Pole coaching and consulting. What I specialize is I bridge the gap between the generations in different workspaces. I do this using a series of workshops. I have six in total, which is communication workshops, staff development, leadership development, culture workshops, process improvement, and also an organizational approach where this particular workshop I am targeting or working specifically with those top executive leaderships or individuals within those leadership spaces. I know we've heard the conversation or the term mentioned in some way, shape, or form in whatever work environment we're in, saying that we are a family. Well, we need to be very careful with that term family because we all have unique families. We all come from a unique path or background as it relates to the term family. And so at Pole Coaching and Consulting, we actually call that organizational behavior. So my workshop for organizational behavior is where we are actually looking at the tone, which is always set at the top with leadership, and see how it's funneling its way down the chain all the way to the frontline staff members. So that those are the services that I provide in terms of consultation and coaching.
Awesome. I love that. So you work with government and private agencies. Is there any, like, what are your requirements to work with you?
Well, yes, I do. I work with government agencies, do some work in the private business sector as well as the public business sector, nonprofit organizations, some tech spaces, construction, of course. For individuals to want to work with pole coaching and consulting, or they would like for us to come in and take a look at their organization, I do offer complimentary consultations. That's about an hour long. And that's where we actually have a conversation, get to know one another. Let me understand or know what the pain points are in your organization that individuals are having a hard time with dissecting or at least figuring out what it is. And so I actually work with any individual that has a minimum of 20 employees, $50,000 for budgeting as it relates to development, and they revenue annually at $1 million. Now, there are organizations who may not have, 20 employees. They may have 10 employees. They may not have revenue at 1 million a year. However, they may have a budget set aside for any consultation services or any coaching services that they want. And in that case, I do charge an hourly rate because I do understand that small business owners, they may not have the bandwidth to have an entire HR person there to help them with the onboarding process or the training process or anything as it relates to corporate bylaws, policy related questions, or anything like that. So they may need a little one-on-one and they don't necessarily need all of the services that I provide at that moment in time. I do offer hourly rates as well.
Excellent. Now, you volunteer for a nonprofit, Live You, and that is
Yes.
also career coaching, right?
It's career, it's life, it's everything. So Live You, which stands for Love, Inspire, Value You, is a nonprofit organization that was put on or put together by a great friend of mine, Ciara Wimby, who's now transitioned on. But what we did in that organization was we coached women all over the world on how to remove barriers to wellness in their lives. And my particular role in that organization was a spiritual wellness coach. another young lady in that role. She was the mental wellness coach, and she was also certified. She's a doctor in clinical psychology, so she definitely has the bandwidth, the knowledge, and the license to go through that. At this moment in time, she's busy in another project, so that's a different conversation for that. But the founder, Ciara Wimpy, she was a physical wellness coach as well as an accountant.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, she was an accountant. And of course, I went to law school. So it just worked out well. We got an accountant, we have a mental wellness therapist or an actual psychologist, and then you have a person who's knowledgeable in legal studies. So it was a great experience and a great time because we worked with women in Brazil, in Africa, in Costa Rica, of course, the United States, Canada, Mexico. So we worked with a lot of women all over the world.
Now, you told me that Live You inspired your mantra.
Yes, it did. It did. Live You had a way of reaching not only women, but men as well. And I can remember a time where men would send us messages asking when we are going to do another live conversation around a wellness topic that we've chosen for the month. And the reason why is because whatever we're saying, it makes sense to them. They wanted to benefit their mothers, their wives, their sisters, their whomever. So we say that our women are our sisters keep. We are our sisters keepers, basically. So it doesn't matter what you look like, where you come from, who you are, what you're not. It doesn't matter. We are our sisters keepers. And so we don't know everything. So we don't know everything, but we do have an assessment that we send out to people to actually go through that assessment and take it. And if it's a right fit for Live You, then it's a right fit for Live You. But as it relates to my mantra, I'm a huge self-care advocate. And in Live You, we were extremely large on being a self-care advocate. Only I love business, and all my degrees are in business. I've been in many different industries. And so I wanted to bring some of that back into the workspace, which is how it got me onto my entrepreneurship path to begin with. I think people struggle with not knowing their purpose in life.
Mhm.
And I have been blessed enough to know and figure out and discover what my purpose is. Now, it did not come without trials and tribulations and challenges and obstacles that not only dealt with external matters or individuals, but it also dealt internally because we internally have a battle that we fight.
Right.
Some days that other person wins, other days I win, but it's still a battle nonetheless. And so I wanted to move that over into the corporate space because I thought in my head how many other people are battling internally while they're on the job. And then while they are on the job, whatever task or deliverable they're in charge of completing by whatever date, how much is that stress put on top of them? Plus, were they trained? Are they being developed? Because many of the women that came to us in the nonprofit, a lot of the stress related back to work. And so when we delve deep into the work aspect and how they felt, we came to realize that, or at least I did in that sense, that they really wanted more in their workspace. They wanted the development. They want to move up the ladder, but there were certain things hindering them from doing so. Sometimes it was a legit person. Sometimes it was documentation. Sometimes it was a lack of additional education needed, like any higher level degrees or certifications. And sometimes it was financial. People just did not have the means to actually make the drive to another location for a higher pay because the ETA from where that new location is to their home is a lot further in distance than they originally thought,
Mhm.
whatever the case may be. So I really wanted to get back into the workspace and understand how that impacted performance from a data perspective or a statistical perspective. And I did find that it definitely impacts individuals in the workspace. Those who are stressed out at work take that stress home, and usually they're going to make up their mind whether or not they want to stay at that job or if they want to leave. And I can't remember which research I looked at, and I'm so sorry. I did not look at any of my notes I had prior to this, so we are winging it, girl.
Yes.
Um, But a study did come out and show that at least 38% of individuals in the workspace cite workplace issues as a main stressor for them and why they want to leave.
Hmm.
Um, Flexibility is also a challenge. We think of how many single parents there are out there that loves working from home because it works. They can get their kids no issue, but having to do that from the job site, the actual job site, like that takes some time. I know some people use their lunches for that. So
Right.
that helped inspire pole coaching and consulting. And I wanted to instill some of those pillars from LIV You, which one of them being a self-care advocate, another is emotional intelligence, process improvement, and communication. And I know we hear all the time how communication is clear, but if I'm bridging the gap between the generations and workspace, then I think it's imperative that individuals, especially those who have decision making power or the influence of decision making power, really see that each generation speaks a different language.
Hmm.
Each generation, they're not going to use a computer to email you, they have assistants for that. Or they're not going to text you, they're going to call you. And if they do text you, they may use just, the letters of the alphabet. We don't know in what order, but it may happen.
Yeah.
So I think we're missing that. I think a lot of individuals are missing that. And we can go down a rabbit hole with this, but that's what inspired me to own and operate my own consulting firm.
Is Live You still active?
At this moment in time, since the founder has transitioned on, it's been a struggle with their board of directors to figure out who is going to step into her shoes
Okay.
and fulfill her role. So I'm on standby right now and waiting to hear back what's going to happen with them. But in the meantime, I ended up opening my own business and
Right.
focus that around and book, right? Book,
I,
focus,
yeah,
focus all that around pole coaching and consulting, building my brand, building my business, building myself.
you are so busy. I wanted to touch on I definitely want to touch on the book, but before we touch on that, how are you melding spirituality with business? Because I know spirituality is a large part of your life too.
It is a very large part of my life. So, purple is actually the color of spirituality. It's also associated with many other acronyms or terms, but the one that I know for certain is spirituality, which is the color of purple. Now,
Mhm.
how I'm meshing the two together, I'm going to go back to that bridging the gap between the generations. We have traditionalists, we have our baby boomers, we have our Gen X, we have millennials, we have Gen Zers, we have Gen Alpha and Gen Beta. Now, the newer generations, I'd say probably the lower half of the millennials to the Gen Zers and the Gen Alphas and then the Betas, those different generations are using astrology to determine whether or not they can work with a company or work with that leadership that they're now under. And a lot of people love astrology, whether they talk about it out loud or not, because I understand it is taboo because it goes against other individuals' belief systems. And I'm not here to challenge anybody's belief system. I'm not here to convert anybody. What you believe is what you believe. That's whatever. That's not what this is. What it is education. It's knowledge. And the always a really good thing about that is that people have a choice. You have a
Mhm.
choice whether you want to take it or not. So
Right.
it's a choice. But for those ones that I am talking to that is watching your YouTube channel, that's watching this interview, you cannot say, or maybe you can, who knows, right? Um, at one point in time, you either know someone, you yourself, or heard of another person saying, oh, this person is a Leo.
Hmm.
Oh, so this person is this. They're this way. They're conceited. It's all about me thing. And I'm an Aries, so it doesn't work out well. So you hear that. This is not an uncommon conversation.
Right.
The challenge here is that these newer generations that are in the workspace are using that to determine, like I said, determine whether or not they're going to work with their leadership. So it changes how they communicate with that person. It changes how they feel about that person. Basically, it creates the biasness. It helps create that.
Hmm.
And so, what I do is for those that choose to actually look into natal charts or look into astrology and use astrology as a way to determine how to communicate with someone, stop using just a sun sign.
Right. Right.
There's so much more to astrology, and I help my other audience because all of my audiences isn't just on one platform, they're spread across. I help that audience that I'm talking to understand their own charts and to understand, well, if this person is a Leo sun, they could have a Cancer moon. That means they're going to be very passive aggressive in how they feel in anything. They're going to do that. Or if they are a Leo sun with a Pisces moon, or excuse me, a Cancer moon and a Cancer Mercury, then they're really going to be passive aggressive with how they communicate. And they're going to communicate with emotion first. They're not going to communicate with logic first, even though it seems like they will, they won't.
Hmm.
So it's so much more because if you know what their Mercury sign is, then you will know how to communicate with them. If you understand all that, it helps.
And you said you had mentioned that you're gonna start doing birth charts for businesses, for setting up businesses
Yes,
or
yes,
for the biz.
yes. Yes, thank you for that. I am doing business natal charts. I'm actually doing them for any individual that wants to know more as it relates to business. There's plenty of astrologers out there that can do love or romance. I chose not to, not that I can't. It's
Right,
very easy, but I like business.
right.
And so I focus on specific houses. I focus on, your North Node because your North Node is or are the attributes or anything associated with that zodiac sign. What that's your mission in this lifetime. Your South Node, those are the traits of the opposite zodiac sign that you've already mastered that you're going to bring into this lifetime. So it's a balance that people have to walk. And I'm not sure if individuals understand that it is a balance. If you don't walk it, you're going to get lost. And there's a lot of lost people here.
Definitely. That's really cool. I love that. I love that you're using astrology to help businesses and then also individual people.
Yes.
I apologize, Stephanie. I didn't give people your credentials. Go
Oh
ahead
my
and tell
gosh.
everyone your credentials.
Oh my credentials. So I have three associate degrees, one in organizational leadership management, business management. I have a bachelor's in sales and marketing. I graduated cum laude. Also, I have a master's degree in legal studies with an emphasis on corporate and healthcare compliance from ASU, Sandra Day O'Connor. I am also DEI certified. I have a spiritual coach certification through LIV You actually. Currently, oh gosh, what else am I doing? Oh, gosh, Greater Phoenix Chamber of Commerce member. Lots of connections all over the states, all over the world. Really, there's a lot of people that know me in different countries and states. Originally from the South, from Mississippi, love it. Live on the West Coast now. I do like to travel, so I will come to the workplace as well. Gosh, what other credentials do I have? There's so much. Author, right?
Yep.
Author of my first book project titled Perfect Progression, and I love it because that's what this cute little book back here is.
Yay!
Um, yes,
Oh
thank
my
you. And
gosh.
this cute little template right here. So my book Perfect Progression talks about workplace issues and how it impacts individual on a spiritual level, perhaps, but definitely mentally, emotionally, physically, and even financially. And so it is available for pre-order on my website, POEE.com/perfect dash progression. And you can actually pre-order. It's only a $5 pre-order charge, which actually goes towards the entire purchase of the book. You get the pre-order, you get this cute little template you get to take a picture of, just like so, and then you
Awesome.
post it, right? You post it on your social media site. So if it's LinkedIn, if it's Instagram, wherever you are on social media, and please find me and tag me. I'm pretty easy to find. So you get that. And then with the book comes, you actually get my sign, my signature in the book and a little bit more about the inspirations on this book. So yeah, I think I covered him. Did I cover him?
Yeah, that was the next thing we were going to talk about, that you were writing a book. So, do you have any idea when the book will be released?
We are currently in the final editing stages of the book. So I'm hoping we'll have this completed before the summer of this year. It's definitely going to be out this year, so no big deal. But we're making some changes, that things that we caught late. And of course, the holidays and coming back from it. So we're basically getting back on it.
Awesome. That's so exciting. I'm so excited
Thank
for
you.
you. Um,
Thank you.
so people can find you on LinkedIn. Uh,
Yes.
you're offering podcasts that are just for people who work with you, correct?
Correct. So I am still working out the kinks of my little podcast and also my YouTube channel, which is called Astro Biz, ASTROBIZ as in zebra, Z as in zebra. So Astro Biz videos there, but it's private for now. And it'll also be Astro Biz on Spotify as well. So working out the kinks of that. As soon as I get that to you, as soon as I get it, I'll get it to you.
Okay.
So people can go and they can listen to it. So
Yeah.
and it's private. So you have to be invited by somebody who has the link and you can listen to it. But it's specifically talking to my audience that uses astrology in their workspace to understand the stars and the universe. And of course, Pluto's in Aquarius for the next 20 years. So that's fun. Uh, that's a lot of fun.
So,
That's gonna be a lot of fun.
do you want to give a little, what does that mean, Pluto being, in that for the next 20 years? What do
Yeah,
you,
I can definitely. I'll give a little bit. So
yeah.
Pluto is the planet of transformation, like deep transformation, and its ruler is Scorpio. And so, if you know anything about Scorpios, then you know that they are very private people. They can be secretive, but there's something beneath the surface. I call Scorpios the glaciers of the zodiac sign because you never know how deep they go unless you go underneath that cold ass water and you're not going to do it. So, So it's deep transformation. It's, and what is it, Greek mythology, Hades, or the god of the underworld.
Hades,
It's
yeah.
it's that.
Okay.
And then you have Aquarius. Aquarian people are humanitarians. And so a lot of individuals don't know that because Aquarian people are extremely friendly. But when it comes to a romantic relationship, they rather be your friend first. They don't want to, they value the friendship more than the actual relationship itself. If it turns into love, okay, great, it turns into love. So they got the best of the both worlds. But they do think objectively rather than subjectively. And they're non-traditionalists. I call them peoples the mad scientists of the zodiac signs because they're not outside of the box where the box sits in the circle. They got a triangle to give you to like trace out on a piece of paper and figure it out. So they are the mad scientists, and they also don't conform to everyday order or ritual or routine, how we just get up our 9 to 5. Like they're not traditionalist people. So with Pluto having deep transformation and Aquarius not being traditionalist, the saying that goes, what doesn't kill you, that part of the saying, that's Pluto. What makes you stronger? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. That's Aquarius. Meaning, breaking it down even further into broken crayon terminology, we're going to all experience deep transformation within that space. And it's not always unicorns and rainbows. It's not always happy times. Sometimes we have to grow through pain. And I'm not saying it's going to be physical pain or literal pain, but it's going to be some form of discomfort to any individual who's not ready for that change because change is going to happen regardless if we're ready for it or not.
Hmm.
So that's what that means when I say Pluto is in Aquarius for the next 20 years. And wherever you have Aquarius in your chart, that's where you're really going to see the transformation happen the most. So if you have a fifth house, and there's the houses with the astrology. If you have a fifth house Aquarius, then you're going to see transformation in your children. Your children, you're going to see them in a different perspective. Now, I don't know if something's going to happen. I'm not saying that it will or it's not. I'm not a psychic. I don't know. I'm good, but I'm not that good.
Yeah.
Um, you'll see some transformations. Or if you have it in the seventh house, you'll see transformations in like your romantic relationships because the seventh house is the house of romantic relationships. And it's just in fifth house and seventh house, they mirror one another just in a different light. But yeah, Pluto going into Aquarius for the next 20 years. And we're barely getting into this. So we got 20 more years of this. I'm thinking a good maybe 4 or 5 years into it, we'll definitely see some major changes that nobody can deny.
Lots of changes. Yeah. I mean, we're already experiencing it. It's
Uh-huh.
but as with any change, there's growing pains and there's endings. Though there will be new beginnings, but there's endings, and that's always painful. So,
Yes, and we're in the year nine universally from a numerology perspective. And nine is the year of completions. This is where cycles end, or this is where cycles begin. So this is really big for us to whatever doesn't serve us a purpose, we got to let it go. Whatever doesn't do for us, we have to let it go, or letting go of old thinking patterns or old mantras or behavior patterns. Whatever that is, we cannot use the same mind that created the problem to solve it. If that makes better sense for people. So we are in the year nine universally, and individually within that universe we all have our own individual numbers,
right.
so that even goes down a rabbit hole too.
Right, definitely. I know it's nines, endings are hard, but new beginnings are exciting, and we're going through the growing pains right now. I try not to get caught up, but
Yeah, plus the Mercury retrogrades, the Mars going into Cancer to Leo. Mars is the planet of energy, and with Cancer being in Mars, people are extremely emotional.
very emotional.
um Very emotional. Us water signs that understand emotion, this is what we go through on a daily basis. So welcome to our world.
Oh.
Um, this is what we do. But for those that are mature in our emotions, then we can control those and we can use our logical sense first before the emotional sense. And I've had years of practice on how to do that. So if it doesn't make sense, then it's just, I'm going to question. So, but
Yeah.
everybody else that's not, a water sign or have like a moon or Venus in a water sign or something, but they're in Aquarius. And I'm like, wait, what? Or you'll see a Gemini getting super sensitive about something, or an Aquarius getting super sensitive about something over things they usually don't get sensitive over. But there's just so many planetary alignments and realignments, directions, retros. Yeah.
This is
So,
why we need personal astrologers to help break down our own charts so we can ask Stephany here
yes.
to help us. Is there anything you want to add? Thank you so
Uh,
much for coming on tonight. I appreciate you. I know you're super, super busy.
I don't have anything additional to add other than Perfect Progression is available for pre-order. And it's a $5 pre-order. You click on the link in the on the website and it takes you directly to where you can make your payment. And that payment goes towards the entire purchase of the book. You'll get the signed copy. You'll be up to date on whatever's happening as of late with this book. You get this beautiful template. You take a picture, you can post it on your social media. And if you want to have a one-on-one with me in regards to improving your workplace culture, needing some workshops, even speaking engagements, which I also do, please go to my website, POEECC.com, and you can select the contact us tab, and you can actually send me a message directly. I'll see it, I'll get it, and you get access to a calendar where you can actually schedule a conversation where we can get to the pain points of your organization, your people. I'm on LinkedIn, first and last name. Instagram handle Stephany underscore POEECC. Follow me there. I'll be posting stuff again regularly, but I am a lot on LinkedIn. So if you are on LinkedIn, connect with me there. Send me a message. And if you don't send one to me, I'll definitely send one to you. And I will have some LinkedIn audios coming up this month and for the remainder of the year. So I look forward to meeting all new people. And you won't hear me talk much about astrology on LinkedIn, but other platforms you will. So I hope you guys do tune in. And thank you so much, Sarah, for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. And we can always chat anytime. Like I'm forever like with you.
Awesome, Stephanie. That would be awesome. So just let me know if you have anything else like come up and you want to jump on again. That would be
Yeah.
awesome.
Yes, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I actually have something happening in March that I have not finalized. I'm still in the middle of it, but once I get it together, I will definitely let you know.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Stephanie, for your time, and I will let you go because I know you have to run off to another engagement.
Yes, I gotta run, but thank you so much. Again, I appreciate it. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon, another time, and we can pick a topic to talk about. That'd be fun.
That would be awesome. Bye, Stephanie.
Bye.